Juan will be right with us here. Streaming live on Facebook. Yay. Juan will be right with us in just a second. Just give me just a second and I will get him here. He was trying to fix his hair. I was like, he's like, I was like, you've got bumps. He said, I don't know how to get them out. And I said, use a brush. He's like, oh, now you. So he ran to go look pretty for you guys. So we're going to start here in about 1 minute. I'm really super excited. Give me just 1 second. You're the cutest. I'm always impressed, honey. I'm always impressed.
Awesome. I found a new Legion source, by the way, that I don't have to do anything for. I loved it. I'm excited about it.
I know, honey. We've been working. I'm excited you're excited, because when you're excited, I'm excited, because
well, I'm not super excited about it, but it's going to be interesting.
Well, is it a lead gen source that's going to produce?
Yes, that I don't have to do anything for other than pick up a phone.
Which is one of our. You're good on the phone, honey.
I know. I know, right? Give me the camera, honey.
Hold on.
Camera. I'm pumped. I'm ready to talk.
Okay, hold on. Give me just 1 second.
Can no one hold me down? Can no one hold me back?
Okay. Control C. Da-da, da-da-da, and we're going to get started. So, honey.
And action.
Tell them about us. And our history in real estate, what got us here, kind of, and here. And then we'll do a screen share in a little bit.
That's such a small screen. Can you make the screen bigger?
No, you don't need to look at yourself. Okay. Just look at the camera.
So, okay. So real quick, and we'll move forward through this quickly. But basically, Bettina and I, when I met her, I was playing soccer professionally. That's what I did for a living, right? So what do you do when you get done playing soccer? You become a coach, because that's what you know best, right? You typically do what you know best. So that was the path of least resistance. It was a passion of mine. I had enjoyed it and played it, right? And so Bettina and I started in soccer, running a soccer academy for kids. And we grew it. We recruited kids, we brought in kids, we built teams. We brought coaches to help with the kids and manage the parents. We brought more kids and more coaches, and we grew and grew and grew. So we had a lot of success and a lot of fun in doing that. Our favorite thing about it, we always say, is that, you know, coaching was so cool. It gave me the opportunity to meet Bettina's dad. And we took a 30-day road trip, not a road trip, but a 30-day trip to Thailand, where I got to meet him, tour Thailand. Just an amazing experience. I had never been to that side of the world.
Actually, it was 6 weeks. Yeah.
6 weeks. Sorry, 6 weeks. And so anyway, so that was really cool. So it got that. We worked towards that in the soccer business. It was exciting to save up for it. It was exciting to think about going to Thailand. And so soccer was cool. However, one of the things we noticed was my stepson at the time was about 6. And what I noticed was the only real free time I had with him was before he went to school. So on the weekends, I was off coaching other people's kids, right? In the afternoons, when the kids got out of school, I started working with the kids. Well, I wasn't there when he was there. So, you know, and we were planning on having 2 more kids. So, you know, there was a natural, not an alignment to our lifestyle. So Bettina's aunt used to own a Remax, had built herself up, reinvented herself, and just had a great deal of success. And Bettina's dad just noticed that we always liked helping people. And she says, you know, Bettina would do really well in real estate because she likes helping people, and he didn't think that the salespeople in the U.S. were really that nice. This was his experience after coming back, or that helpful.
Right, that helpful. That like they were just about selling stuff versus really truly wanting to help people.
That's right.
Get the results that they truly wanted. They knew the salesperson knew what they wanted, and they were like, whatever the salesperson had, right. They wanted to make sure that they would get the other person to buy it, whether it was best for them or not. And he felt like, I would make a killing just because my natural tendency is to find out what the other person wants and then help them reach that goal.
He was 100% right. And, you know,
it worked out.
He was right with almost just about everything he said.
He's brilliant. He's like one of those genius people. Yeah, I didn't get that gene, but
anyways, moving forward. So we went into real estate. We got in at 2007.
06.
Oh,
I got
06.
my license in 06. We made a 3-year plan to get out of
right.
soccer and into real estate. So I got my license first in 06, got my GRI. I would actually eavesdrop at people's doorways to listen in on conversations, because we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have Facebook to learn from other
That's right.
realtors like we do now. We didn't have those massive masterminds that was available to brand new agents like
Right.
we do now.
Back then, people, if they felt like you were their local competition in a local brokerage where everybody was sharing,
Mhm.
like it was, they didn't want to share their hot sauce with you because you were in the same zip code, same street that they were in. So they didn't want to share their secrets, and there was a lot of hot sauce being kept. Now you've got everybody putting it on, YouTube. There's a lot of education out there. So, but anyway, so we fast forward, when we figured out what we were doing in real estate, we decided to grow a team, right? Transactions started growing.
Mhm.
We decided to go on the natural path of a transaction coordinator, an assistant, buyer's agents. We went up to 85 transactions, on track to do 125.
And with the goal we were actually in coaching, or we had our mentor we were talking about taking it to the next level, because we were on track to hitting that year's goal of 125. And then the following year, I believe we were going to go to not 225 or like 200. So just
be a big
incremental. So because that's what we had been doing. And he basically said we needed to invest more time, more energy, and more money. And Juan's over here thinking, wait, I don't want to invest more time, energy, and money. I want to net more time, net more money, and net more energy. And he was like, but I was all in. I was like, okay, I'm willing to invest this in the short term, because in the long term, it's going to pay off.
Right.
But life is about relationships, right? And luckily in his soccer gig, he met a guy named
Wilco Ravison.
Wilco.
Love you, Wilco.
Love you, Wilco. Thank you, Wilco. You and Rob and Jean have changed our lives, changed our family's trajectory, changed the people that we surround ourselves with. We were with amazing people before. And what's funny is that the really wonderful people we aligned with ourselves with before are coming back in our lives, because people are attracted to wonderful, helpful, kind people. And like attracts like. So if this is you, let's talk about how you can harness your ability to help people, to train people, to be kind and compassionate. And let's talk about the model that will really help you do this. Okay. So here are the things we're going to talk about: who we are, our business model, eXp World and the cloud office, additional opportunities, and what it would be like being an agent. So nothing changes in your real estate business. What changes is the platform, which when you update your platform, and you'll see this, the opportunities that it gives you to allow you to net. Isn't this what we're in this game for, is to net more time, more energy, and more money, right? So that we have the freedom to be with our family, to live a fuller life, to go out and help other people, to volunteer more. I talked to somebody, she says, well, real estate for me, I like helping people, but ultimately my goal is to volunteer. And she had a passion for helping like a certain niche of folks. And she was very passionate about their food and their diet and educating people every area of her life.
Honey, I can think back to when we first started. We looked up to the people who did more transactions, right? So knowing what I know now, right? When we look back, hindsight's 2020. What I know now is I looked up to people who had more money, and I was like, God, they're making more money, they're doing more deals, they're totally successful. When we got to that stage and even surpassed the people we were looking up to, what I realized was I had money, but I had no time
or energy.
Right?
To be with the children.
So my family was getting leftover energy.
Yeah.
Now that stinks.
I don't know if you've been in real estate for any period of time and had and done the transactions, I'm sure that you've seen that too. So we want to show you another opportunity and just give you the information so that you can decide if this is what's best for you and your family and your business. So here's a little bit about our brainchild who conceptualized this model. He started off in the tech industry, so he really focused on startups. And what's really cool is that he saw where the internet was going to take the future in industries across the board, and then he moved into real estate and he got his real estate license. And knowing that, he really focused on internet leads, on him personally generating internet leads. And he also saw during that time how the industry was shifting from being buyers and sellers going towards a brand, that they were actually going towards the agents directly, that it was actually the agents that were the brand. It was the agents that were generating the revenues, and it's the agents who are really the heart and soul of the company.
So when you look back on 2008, after the big crash, I don't know if you know this, but a big statistic came out saying that people lost a lot of faith in big brands, right? They were no more interested in that big brand because they had been lied to, and that whole 2009, 2008 just crushed people's mindset on these big brands, Lehman Brothers, right? Bank of America, all these ones that went under, they just, it was a big deal. It was a big study, big deal.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, because that leads us into him starting the eXp cloud-based platform in 2009. You said they started losing faith in 2008. Well, his timing was impeccable. Right?
It was relevant.
So, and the thing that he's been consistent about is really being obsessed with the agent success. He sticks very much to building a brokerage that really focuses on the agents. And through our growth, so a little bit about us is that when we first heard of this company back in 3.5 years ago, we only had 1,000 agents nationwide. We were in 20 states. That's when we joined eXp. And since then, we just tipped over 25,000 agents. We're in all 50 states, of course. We're in all the provinces in Canada. We just opened up to do business in the UK and Australia, and we're just getting started. This is what's cool. And through this, what I love that our national company is doing is they're making sure that they continue to listen to the agents, to listen to the voice of the agents, so that they know how they can support us so that we can grow our personal brand, grow our business, and how the brokerage can better support us. And they never lose sight of that, because it is their one thing. And we're going to talk about how it's able to be their one thing, where in other platforms, it can't be just their one thing. The agent success can't be their one thing. It's the broker. It's thing, the retention, but it's not the one thing, right? So because of all this, like I said, we've had so much growth. So let's take a look at our business model, okay? Well, actually, before that, let's take a look at the way things have always been. If you think about the old model, right? The old model, you had a national company. The national company would actually break up into regions, right? So you have regionals. Their job, they act kind of like salespeople, right? And they're salespeople, and their job is really to go out and do what? Sell franchises. They get people under contract to purchase these leases to, and like 10-year leases, $40,000. I've heard the massive overhead, monthly overhead, right? And a lot of times they would have to sell while they were growing this part of their business, right? And they would have to hire managers and team leaders because they couldn't focus on doing it all. And their job, the managers and team leaders' job, was what? To recruit. Whom? Agents. And their job is to recruit, train, and retain agents. And the agent's job is what? To go out there and buy and sell real estate. Once you close the deal, like, you're constantly prospecting, lead genning, which is fantastic. This is what we do. This is what we love to do. This is what we're great at. This is what we're passionate about. But the wheel just keeps spinning. There's not another opportunity for agents. The opportunity is really here at the top.
And if I can just add in, so if you notice, you just think about that little wheel that you keep going around in. It's not a problem that we're on the wheel and doing transactions. We want to do transactions. Realtors like doing real estate.
Right.
However, the challenge becomes where in the old model, that hamster wheel supporting everyone above them, they're at the bottom of the totem pole. So the hamster wheel supporting everyone.
Right. They're at the bottom of the totem pole because this generates going up. So then you have, now there's an alternative. And really, here's the deal. I do believe that there's great companies and great concepts and great leaders out there who would have absolutely conceptualized this model if they were able to, if there was enough money out there, except that everything was done in a franchise brick and mortar style, right? But now we have what we have the agent, which is the only revenue producing part of this whole deal, right? And then we have a national company whose only responsibility is the agent's success. They support the agents. This is how a cloud brokerage and our platform and EXP is able to support the agents at such an incredibly high focus, how this can be their one thing. And you'll notice, since there's none of that middle stuff, that's just why the national company can do it. Right. So basically, if you think about us, we're kind of like a cloud office, a platform. We'll go into that a little bit more. And what we have in here is a national company who directly supports the agents. And you'll notice before what was missing, there was missing the franchise owners, right? So what's great is that that ownership opportunity, all that money that the agents made, doesn't disappear and go directly to the national company 100%. In fact, 50% of, ownership opportunity is given to the agent. And the revenue from the company dollar that used to go all the way up all the different levels, now that opportunity is shared with the agent. In fact, it's 50% of the revenue that's shared back to the agents. But you'll see this happening in so many other industries. Think Blockbuster. Blockbuster is a good example because they were franchise model, very, and then Netflix, and they were very locally confined. They were, their business depended on that locally. In fact, their big money was made on fees. So a lot of brokerages had to do that. They would charge the agents like maybe a CSS fee, right? And then they'd up it. And because it was a little bit more opportunity because their overhead's so high, they didn't have another choice.
Remember they used to charge it for copiers, like copies and things like that, and all sorts of little fees that were justifiable.
Right, at CSS, I mean, there was like management fees, there's all these fees, but they're running a business. They didn't have a choice.
Right.
If they had less overhead, then they could obviously send that, share those savings with the agent. It's just an old-fashioned model. Yeah. So because we're not a franchise and we're one brokerage nationwide, we're an international company, we're absolutely changing the industry. There's you've got this side kind of like the Blockbuster model, and then you have the cloud campus, which is more like Netflix or Amazon or anything like that, where there's not those additional like fees, like desk fees, and like Amazon, like Netflix, you can work from anywhere. You have internet connection. As long as you have internet connection, you have access to your brokerage, right? And of course, we've been able to do business, our real estate business online for a number of years. It was just a brokerage services we couldn't have access to, and the education, brokerage education, things like that. But because we're one brokerage nationwide, our training is significantly on a higher level, unlike anybody has ever seen before. We're able to get real-time support. Collaboration is across the country, like Canada. What's coming out of Canada right now is amazing, and we're getting the best agents. And just to add on to that is, and the best agents are doing our training. And when we say the best agents, like right now in the old-fashioned model, I remember it was either the broker doing the training for us, or it was the top agent, right? And at the time, I think that top agent did about 5 or 6 deals a month, right around 5 or 6, maybe up to 8 deals a month, which is good, it's respectable. At eXp, what we currently have going on is some of the agents doing hundreds, possibly thousands of deals a year
are teaching this. Like the absolute best of the best of the best of the best are up there.
Highly experienced.
Top producers. So it's amazing.
And not only that, our brokers, the brokers, compliance brokers that we're getting to help keep agents out of trouble, like they are amazing. Like I'm so glad to be associated with this company and to see the growth and where we've come. Amazing. And I'm excited of our future because like to really think about it, we're just getting started. Right?
100%.
Yeah. And all the things, and this is all because of our platform. Now, sometimes there's big teams. Sometimes, like if you think about an independent broker, sometimes, or a big team, they will rent an office space. So
every agent at EXP, all you have to do is fill out a form, your name and number, and then you'll get assigned a membership ID number, which gives you access to Regis corporate suites. So if you do want a brick and mortar office space, just a general, you just want to go in and drink fancy coffees provided by somebody, kind of the open area, you know, like you would get in an old office, right?
Mhm.
But if you want to rent an office space, you can get a huge discount at Regis because of our relationship with them nationwide. And go to regis.com. We have offices like just around us. There's within 30 minutes, I think there's like 8 offices we have access to.
There's tons of them everywhere.
Yeah. If you go to eXpcloud.com, you'll see a list of our of the training that we're doing this week. It's fantastic. I was just sharing with somebody today. If you're brand new, there's getting started, and then there's also advanced. Just click on the class, it'll open up and it'll tell you what kind of class it is so that you can see that. We have amazing real-time support, which means before I used to, if I needed to like talk to somebody and I couldn't get a hold of them on the phone, or I needed a face-to-face conversation, I would have to get in my car, drive, you know, but it's so much more efficient now. If you think, okay, here's a story. Lewis used to live down the street from us. He was our 13-year-old, they're currently 13, and I think he was 10 back then. They were friends, they were buddies, and they play together. Well, Lewis had to move to, I think, Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, somewhere up there. Pennsylvania. And, but I would hear him in our house because him and Sebastian would play Fortnite together. They talk about school, catch up on soccer, catch up on all this stuff. Lewis actually wound up moving to Puerto Rico. They're still hanging out, which is so cool because they still get that face-to-face interaction via Fortnite.
They may be buddies forever.
They may be buddies forever.
The way the world works now.
Right. Yeah. In fact, our neighbor Gabe will come over and actually come running in the house like, Sebastian, meet me on the playground. He's not talking about the neighborhood playground. He's talking about the playground in the virtual world. And there's other kids, and he's met other kids through other kids in the cloud, cloud office. We're using that same technology, that same efficiency, except we're using it as a support through our broker. And we're hanging out with people, we're masterminding, we're so much is able to happen in our virtual world with our avatar, just because we're learning how to move with the world outside of real estate.
That's right.
Like
keeping up.
We're keeping up, right? It's like, and it's ever changing. So you're either going to evolve with technology or you're going to fall behind.
Don't be a dinosaur.
Don't be a dinosaur.
They get extinct.
Oh man. So, you know, there's a goal setting class coming out of Canada that I really like. It's really good.
It's your fave.
It's my fave. I talk about it every week because I love goals, right? I love goals. And the reason I like goals is because you can break them down, and then you break them down to daily activities, small daily activities that you do consistently over time that will get you that big result. And I just love having that opportunity to continue to grow, to be better, and to be live a better life. So remember earlier when we were talking about the next thing on here is equity opportunities, when we were talking about how we don't have franchise owners, but there's got to be ownership somehow, right? Well, we do it through equity stock opportunities, and you can Google it, EXPI. I'm not a stock expert, but we are truly open door because we are a truly publicly traded on the NASDAQ stock. That means we're audited regularly. You want to know our finances? There it is. Yes, we're debt free. Yes, there's amazing opportunities in stock in our company. And every real estate agent that comes on board with EXP has the same equity stock opportunity as anybody else that comes over.
So just on that note, when we talk to renters, don't we tell them to buy?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we tell them to buy? Because it's better to get to pay down your house. It's better to get the appreciation. It's better to get these ownership benefits, tax write-off. There's owner benefits, right? So before the last brokerage, I remember going to a big convention and they're like, yeah, and opening up in Italy, here's the guy representing Italy. And I'm like,
Yay.
and selfishly, I was like, how does this benefit me? Like, how does Italy help me, right? However, here,
What's the WIFM?
what's the WIFM, right? What was the WIFM? I was clapping because I was happy for them, but I didn't really know what that meant. So it didn't mean anything to me because there's no benefit to
Right.
me as the agent who's going out there and running and gunning, right? Making things happen. However, here at our company, you own the stock. As we acquire more agents, it hopefully will show up in the revenue, right?
Yeah,
Which will,
or in the
yeah,
in the value of the stock.
In
We
the value
hope.
of the
Like
stock.
we can't guarantee anything. The
No one's
future, all I can guarantee is the past
That's
ish.
right.
You know,
That's
but
right.
we're not talking about the future because we're not.
Yeah.
Did I
But
disclose
ben-
enough that
yeah.
I'm not a stock person? I'm not
But
telling you to buy
benefits.
stock.
Those are
Okay.
the benefits of ownership versus renting. Because when your brokerage sells its brokerage, how much do you get?
Right, exactly. So you look, here's a bunch of opportunity ways to earn stock. So you can, when you sell your first transaction at eXp, you get awarded stock. When you fully cap, you're awarded more stock. When
Yes.
you, let's say you invite an agent to listen to a presentation,
No, 10%.
they're awarded stock, and you're awarded stock because you're helping the company growth. Because remember, we don't have regions, we don't have franchise owners, we don't have all of that.
Right.
What we have are 600 staff members in the cloud whose responsibility is to support you, right? That is it. At the national level. Also, when you icon, that means you do a bunch of transactions. You cap plus an additional 20 transactions. You can be awarded $16,000 in stock.
Yes.
There's an agent equity program where you can take up to 5% of your commissions and purchase stock at a 10% discount. So the other thing that we talked about is a revenue share plan. And seriously, if you want to dive deeper into this, get with the person that invited you, get with us, and we'll share with you kind of how that works and kind of work with the calculator, because this is highly impactful. You'll see people who wanted to be independent, who wanted to grow on their own, to do it, be a team leader, but just found that what it took to be profitable was just very consuming. Again, at the end of the day, in our goal to net more money, net more time, net more energy, this model allows every agent the same opportunity, right? Without.
And don't you, when you say it's really just streamlined,
Yeah.
with like less or no, I don't want to say no liability, but much less.
Without the risk of having to sign that contract and
Right.
those lease agreements and all that and all that overhead, it's a huge risk. So the company's is going to give out 50% of the revenue, adjusted gross commissions of the company dollar.
So cool.
Yeah. So we'll go into it, but let's say, okay, revenue share plan. This is kind of how it works. So let's say you invited us to watch this presentation, and we look at the information. We'll probably ask a series of questions just to kind of confirm and really want to know more. But at the end of the day, we're like, hey, this is a match for our future. We can see that this is where real estate is going. We can see that there's an old tradition, an old model, and this is the new way of real estate, and we'd like to be a part of it. And we come up on board. So I'll close a transaction. Let's say I make about $10,000 commission. Okay. You'll take 3.5% of that commission,
which is $350.
$350, and it goes back to you. So, oh, wait. Let me back up. Company dollar. Let's talk about that. So basically, every agent that joins eXp is on an 80-20 split. That caps at $16,000. That's the cap, company cap. So the company dollar is at 20%. Okay. So you would receive, I make a commission $10,000. You would receive $350 of that $2,000 company dollar. Make sense? Fantastic. But let's say I've been in this business since 2006, because I have, and we're using me as that example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your tier one. I happen to know some people, and they're going to ask why I transitioned to eXp, and I'll say, hey, come watch this webinar, attend a lunch and learn with me. There's somebody I want you to meet. Listen to their story. And they're like, hey, this sounds very interesting. I'm very interested. I'd like to join eXp.
Yeah.
You influenced them, and so I became their sponsor. They would then be my level one, your tier two, right? So when they close a transaction, let's say they make $10,000 commission on it. I would make $350 of the company dollar. You would make $380 of that $2,000 company dollar. Make sense? Good. Okay, so let's say we're, you see this over here where it says personal qualifying agent count needed, 1 + 5 + 10 + 15, and goes down. Well, one of the big values of our brand is sustainability. And this is a qualifier that allows our sustainability. So to unlock that big 3.8% on level 2, you need to personally introduce 5 or more agents to eXp, right? To unlock level 3, you need to personally introduce 10 or more agents to eXp. So let's kind of translate that to a savings, to kind of the way we've always done. Because when you're in real estate, you're taught to save money and purchase rental properties. And we can go into rentals, but let's talk about just your basic savings, because this is pretty much what happens across the board in any industry, and it's something everybody can relate to. Okay?
We need to retire.
So I'm going to throw some numbers out there. What does this mean? Basically, let's say you save $900,000 after taxes. Now, I find that most people find this number extremely overwhelming. If that's a 3-year plan, that's $300,000 a year. Now, not to talk bad about agents, but realistically, most industry agents have a hard time paying their annual taxes, much less saving money. But let's say we want over 20 years, we draw 4% out. That's $36,000 a year, $3,000 a month. While we're doing that, let's consider this, because this is a plan that most agents, and this is why so many people are so interested in inviting other agents to lunch to see this presentation, and why they are moving their real estate business that they have grown, made their brand, somewhere else to here. And this is also why new agents are starting out here, because the education, the support is fantastic. But imagine if we would have started this, 10 years ago? Where would we be at now, right?
So different.
So let's say we personally introduce 6 capping agents to the company. That'll give us $2,800 a month per agent, right? Roughly $1,680 a year. And we help each one of those agents personally only introduce 1 to eXp. 6 times 3,200, because they're capping agents, that'd be a total of $36,000 a year. Now, for most agents, they find it's easier to find 6 capping agents and invite them to lunch or see this presentation and sponsor 6 capping agents and help them each, reach out to one person that's going to come, that they can sponsor.
So the thing about this, just going there, is that these numbers traditionally were not possible. Like this $36,000 was not something possible in the old-fashioned model. So what really needs to be understood is it's a redistribution of the money. They're redistributing the money. Remember, there's the national company, and there's the agents, and there's nothing else in between it. So all the money is being given to the agent, the actual guy who's running out there on that treadmill for all the work they're doing. This is the compensation of ownership.
Well, in the old model, also six capping agents was not going to cut it to just cover the overhead.
Oh no.
That's why so many broker owners are also having to continue buying and selling. And yeah, there's a few people that managed to do it very profitably, but it's not an opportunity that is so systematic and leveraged that any agent can take advantage of it. So let's consider this for a 5-year plan. This is our favorite, okay? In the old, you can save $4.5 million after taxes, 4% over a year, which gives us a monthly income of $15,000, right? Or we can personally introduce 10 agents to eXp anywhere in the country, Canada.
Yes.
Show them this presentation, right? You can do this 5 a year, that's 2 a year. I would not say that this makes you a good recruiter. I promise you, if you said, I promise I will recruit 2 agents a year, you will not get a job as a managing or team leader for any franchise broker. No. They're like Like, you mean 10 a month, right? No, like, seriously, come on. So this is just up on the side while you're doing real estate, while you're talking to agents, while you're attending events. You're going to come across other nice agents that you like, that are open-minded, that you will set an appointment, and we'll teach you how to do that. It's really a lot easier than you might think, because you're talking to them anyways. So let's say that'll be $28,000 on our first level. Now here's the deal. Most people, when given this kind of opportunity, they're going to want to share this opportunity with other agents as well. This is part of our explosive growth, where we're over 25,000 agents in such a short period of time. So we've netted 24,000 agents in 3.5 years. We are growing faster than any brand has ever grown in the history of real estate.
That's right.
So let's say we help those 10 sponsor 10 agents. That's $320,000, and that's second level, which is a total of $348,000. So if, as you see, this actually goes 7 levels, and we can do the calculator on that, but that was just kind of a general overview for you guys. And you can see how exciting it is already, not having touched anything else.
And the other thing I want to point out is just the obvious here is, in the old-fashioned model, you saw you were at the bottom of the totem pole, right? So of all those levels, you're at the bottom supporting everybody above you. In this model, you're at the top and everybody's helping support you, right?
Exactly.
You're supporting them, they're supporting
Right.
you. It's a win-win.
So like we said, a lot of the opportunities of freedom of generation has to do with the platform, right? A lot of the cost savings, a lot of this distribution of funds is able to happen because of the technology that is available now that was not available back then.
Yeah.
And this is why I say I bet that a lot of the great leaders back then would have absolutely loved to redistribute the funds back to the agents, because they started in this industry as agents. They realized the value of agents. There just wasn't that opportunity to do that. Okay.
100%.
So here's a little bit here's kind of an overview of our community, but here let me just share my screen here, and so that you can just see what it looks like. Okay. All right, I'm going to click play. All right. It really the efficiency of this. Oops, sorry, you come in, you pop in, you see that all the opportunities for education. We have significantly more per day. This was back in 2017. We've got, if you go to expcloud.com, you'll see the auditorium automatically gets bigger when we do our big meetings.
Yes, that's a boat.
In the background, you can actually, yes, drive a boat, motorboat all the way around the island. We have smaller masterminds. We have smaller education opportunities as well as the bigger ones, which allows you that intimacy of raising your hand, of asking questions. This is our agent services. You'll notice all the staff in there to support you. This is a clip of the auditorium as it's starting to fill up before a meeting. I love the streaming technology and the efficiency of it. My favorite spot is actually up there in the balcony.
I can believe that. You know, one of my favorite things when I look at this is it just reminds me of one of the core values of the company being fun, right? And you saw a piano in one of the rooms. Did you see the boat, right? Like, they didn't just make a boring campus. Like, they made it fun and enjoyable for people to enjoy it. Like,
yeah,
just
it's a work
for joy.
Yeah, because we spend so much time depending on our broker. We want it to be a good experience, right? We want that support. And here's some other solutions. So this is kind of our brokerage back office, the cloud office. Let's talk about other ways, other solutions that our office, that our brand, that eXp has given us. So one of which is eXp Solutions. It incorporates all this. eXp Enterprise is a software that our company actually had to develop, because not only are agents helping doing transactions and buying and selling real estate, they actually have 3 other opportunities under one umbrella. One is our real estate business, which we're continually growing.
Yes.
The other is the brokerage growth opportunity and revenue share. And the other is the stock equity opportunity. So eXp Enterprise is a software that they developed, so you have become one place to have access to all of that information, as well as all the other tools that are available to you. I consider kind of like the foyer to the office, right?
Well, the technology is all congruent. It all works together. It all links together, right? Things are working. It's an ecosystem of technology.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'm just going to say this. My favorite part, one username, one password.
Wait. I love it.
Because he always hears me say, what's the password? I need to know. Oh, what's the password to this? What's the password? It's like one username, one password, access to everything.
Passwords, no bueno.
Oh gosh, I get security. The other thing is our transaction management software that allows us to continue to be paperless in our transactions. It's called SkySlope. We do a lot of training around it, but the software itself does training within itself. And I'm going to just kind of boil it down like this. Everything, when you open up, when you create a transaction, it's going to have red light and green light next to each other. Green means good, red means it needs attention. As long as you know that, we can move forward. So red means it needs attention, green means good to go. All right. So the next is communication, not just within our, pretty much all in our brokerage. So are you familiar with Facebook? I'm sure you are. So if you're familiar with Facebook, the platform, and Facebook Messenger, then you are already familiar with Workplace and Workplace Chat, because Workplace essentially is the Facebook part. Workplace Chat is essentially the Facebook Messenger part. The difference is that we're utilizing this specifically for our group. What that means is we have in Facebook, in Workplace, there's over 2,000 groups. Definitely join your state and local group. And then the ones that you're interested in. There's people that do video, a lot of video, people who are farming, who are very much into internet. So there's all these different niches that you can join and have conversations around it and search to get the information. But let's say you need to get a hold of one of your brokers in your state, or you need to get a hold of anybody at eXp Realty. And when I say anybody, I mean anybody. Everybody at an eXp Realty is available through Workplace Chat. You don't need to go figure out what their phone number is or what their email is, which is usually first name dot last name at eXp Realty, but you just message them. So just like on Facebook Messenger, you can video conference, you can call them, or you can send a message. And when you send that message and they see it, their head pops up, 3 dot that they're responding. Like it's that accountability, it's that ease of communication. And this is so critical when you're in a hurry and you need your broker right away.
Yeah.
It's so critical. Yeah.
So powerful.
I love it. Absolutely adore it. The other thing that realtors really want, on top of education, accessibility to their broker so that they stay out of legal problems, is leads and a lead generating tool. And what's awesome is that eXp offers KV Core to every agent who comes over to eXp, and they're continually working to make sure that we are front of market on all of our tools. And I'm proud to be able to leverage up on this and not have to be the decision maker that goes and makes all those decisions, and just know that we have the best, right? With the same username and password. KV Core is such an amazing tool. It's
you know what I love about it, being here, is we have an entire company nationwide sharing information about how to use this platform, which was exciting to me, because I remember when we were at other brokerages and we'd ask people, and it's like, oh yeah, but they do it on this website. Oh yeah, but they do it on that. They do it. No one, you could never get the same advice from the same people because it was completely different, right? The technologies. And now we're one technology, everybody's working on it, everybody has a story.
And it works and it's good. The thing before in our other brands, we actually had to pay for it. We paid about $1,500 for an equivalent technology, because the brand itself, they say, oh, we're working on it. It's work in progress. We're working on it. Yes, this is what you need. We're building it out. And after, I don't know, 7 years of being in the industry and then building it out, we went and bought our own, or 5 years. And I have to say, from what I'm hearing in the industry, it's about the same. They're still working it out versus giving us the final product, right? Sometimes you just need to leverage it out. KV Core, and you can get at KV Core, you don't have to get be at EXP. It's just that when you're at EXP, all the agents are provided this tool. And it's everything that they say, that a lead, you need to have a website that you can promote to capture the leads. You need a dialer, you need automation, like you need to follow up with people right away, call them. And the automation needs to text and email. It needs to be smart so it knows what kind of activity they're doing on your website, all that jazz. KV Core does all that.
It is that Ferrari. You just have to learn to get it from first to second to third to fourth, fifth gear, right? It's up to you to figure that out.
It's up to you. And
but it's there.
It's there. And I mean,
Powerful.
golly, go get the Ferrari. And again, eXp is very much about the agent experience. So like a lot of independent brokers, one of the reasons they really love coming here, out on top of the financial benefits to them in the short term and the long term, is that they get to keep their brand. When you're building your brand for 5, 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30 years, it's important to be able to keep your brand in the community. And eXp allows you to do that. All you got to do is be compliant with the state broker, which is really cool. And let's talk about what it would be like to be an eXp agent. Okay, basically to get started, it's $149 to get started. That includes your monthly cloud brokerage fee. It includes the education. KV Core includes all that. It also includes 1,000 business cards, I think some eXp folders, things like that. Okay. After that, your only monthly fee to eXp is $85. That's the brokerage. That's a broker fee. That is it. That helps pay for the employees, all that kind of jazz, and the support and the tools. And and then after that is, let's say when you close a transaction, a per transaction fee, there's a $25 broker review fee. That's how we pay our brokers. And then there's a $40 risk management, also known as E&O insurance in our industry. That actually caps at $500. Speaking of cap, that brings us on the left side of the screen, commission and cap. We already mentioned this earlier. It's an 80-20 split. Commission split that caps at $16,000. So we'd love for you to join us. I mean, everybody's talking about us. I think one of my favorite analogies is the one in the top left-hand corner, the Amazon of real estate. I think that is probably my very favoriteest. And it's true. Team recruitment is driving our strong agent growth. And there's so much, and I'm happy to send you additional information in the order for you to learn more so that it makes sense. Right now, there's so much information on Google, you can kind of get bogged down and get, I'm not sure that it's accurate all the time, or if it's quality information for you to make a solid business decision. So we can help you. We want you to make sure you get information directly from the company. Okay. So join us, become a shareholder. Go to join.exprealty.com, fill out the application, talk through the person that invited you, that shared this this presentation with you, and really they're the person that you need to put down as your sponsor. Your support team is going to be at the brokerage, and it's going to be all of us through Workplace. You're going to get supported by all of us. But the person who cared enough about you to share this presentation with you, they're the person that you're going to list on the application as a sponsor. Just know that this does not commit you to anything. Nobody will know that you filled out the application. I won't know. And the person that you put down as the sponsor will also not know. You'll receive a username and password. You'll go through the whole process as though you're onboarding as an agent, and you can change your mind anytime. There's zero commitment, and you'll get to actually experience what it would be like as an eXp agent. We're not making all these promises of what the experience will be like. We're going to allow you to experience it for yourself. And then when you decide that this is a platform for you, or the timing is right for moving your business, whether it be like by Friday, on Monday, or by January 1st, or maybe it's first quarter, end of the first quarter, you can fill out the application, put in your goal date of when you are thinking that you want. Again, all of this can change is to just kind of fill in the blank so that you have access and get a guest pass to eXp World so that you can visit with the broker, so that you can have the eXp agent experience. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time, and reach out to any of us if you have any questions.
We are available.
We want to be available for you. That's our goal, because we like to help. All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.